Hey, shalom, shalom, shalom. Of course, let me check the stream. Like I like to do, because every now and then the settings will change, and it may affect the sound. So, Lord willing, it starts. I see the notification. Bear with me, Babako Shah. All right, there it is. All right, so with that, of course, I'm going to start by saying call, Haloyim, Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Racha, Kodash. Double honors to the apostles, bishops, and elders, a great millstone that rule and teach as well. Peace and shalom to the Akim out there in the elect, which the elect consists of the men, women, and children selected to make it out of here from the coming nuclear destruction, all right? I'm the brother Zayan Allah, the DC camp, coming at you with another video. This is Ezekiel 38. Further belief that Russia is in the Bible and key players to look at concerning BRICS, and of course we know through our teachings what we have been taught by our apostles, bishops, and elders, big bros on down. We've always been taught that Russia is in the Bible. Russia is going to be one of the key players that's going to take down America, okay, aka Babylon today. All right, we've been always told that, and we believe that. I believe that. Okay, it's one of the major powers, world powers, that's going to be used to take down America, along with a few other of the world powers. And I'm about to get that when I go to Ezekiel, the 38th chapter. All right, and we've been taught that. And when you examine the scriptures, like the apostle Tahar said, he said, Russia, and it's not the first time he said that, or some other bros as well. When you go into the word Russia is actually a Hebrew word. Okay, it's actually a Hebrew word. Now I forgot the Hebrew word. All right, if I'm not mistaken, I forgot what he said the Hebrew word was, but it looks like, by looking at it, it looks like Ra'ash. Okay, look like Ra'ash meaning head. Okay, all right, but I'm also going to go into the scriptures and show you why I believe Russia's also in the scriptures as well. All right, without further ado, let me go ahead and play this video. All right, because the rest of the title says what? It says key players to look at concerning BRICS. BRICS is Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa. Okay, and of course you have other countries that are constantly trying to join Russia by application. Okay, why? Because they need a system that's going to what? Be opposite of the West. Okay, they need a system that's going to battle the different sanctions that's being placed on them. They need a system to go against what? The dollar. And once the dollar is going against, everything's going to fold, especially here in America. Once the dollar is no longer being the world's currency, everything is going to fold over here in America. And guess what? There's going to have to be another currency that's going to take the dollar's place, just like BRICS Pay. BRICS Pay is coming up with its own decentralized way of transferring the currencies back and forth, their countries' currencies back and forth to and fro the different countries. They're coming up with BRICS Pay. So therefore, it's got to be another type of system over here in America, because the dollar is going to fall. It's only inevitable. Okay, it's inevitable. It's going to happen. Okay, that's what's going to usher in things like the MOTB. Okay, because if the dollar is gone, you have to go by the new system. And the new system, you cannot what? You cannot buy or sell, save you have the system. It's plain. See, the thing is, a lot of people, they don't look at they can't take the scriptures and put it to the present time. They can't link it to what's going on. It's the same thing. It's the same thing with Yahushua. When Yahushua was on the scene, you had scribes and Pharisees that were masters in the law, but some of them couldn't see that was the Messiah right there in front of them. This is the carpenter's son. Okay, what? A lot of them couldn't see. Some of them knew, but they were their spot was threatened. Their seat of authority was threatened. So they were being wicked, and then you had ones that didn't truly know that he was the Messiah. But wait a minute, y'all have complete knowledge of the scrolls and the scriptures of one to come, one that's written of in Ezekiel, Isaiah, the 53rd chapter. Even, if I'm not mistaken, let me see that. Let me go to Acts. If I'm not mistaken, it's Philip. Yep. Yeah, Philip. Yep. It was Philip who met up with the man of Ethiopia, was an Israelite. He was, because you had Israelites scattered abroad. You had Israelites in the land of Cush. Okay. All right. So you had an Israelite, which was a man of Ethiopia, right? And guess what? Philip taught him that what in the scriptures that he was reading, it was what talking about the one to come. So Philip knew it. I'm pretty sure even the scribes and Pharisees, the so-called masters of the law, they knew it as well. I'm talking about the wicked ones. Okay, they knew it as well. All right, they knew where it was located in Isaiah the 53rd chapter. It even says it right here, Isaiah 53:7, right here, right? So I'm pretty sure they had a knowledge. They had a knowledge of when Shiloh comes in Genesis the 49th chapter. They had a knowledge of another prophet like unto Moses in Deuteronomy the 18th chapter, but back then it wasn't numbered. But they had a knowledge of these scrolls. But it's funny, when the Lord was on the scene right then and there, they didn't truly take the time to say, hey, this is the one that the Lord, that the Heavenly Father is speaking of in the scriptures, man. This is his son, the one to come. All right. Likewise, with like I said, when dealing with Russia and the things happening today, they can't take what's in the scriptures and link it up with what's going on today until it's too late. When the MOTB comes out, that's when a lot of people are going, oh, snap, them GMS brothers were right. All of a sudden, when they're being presented to take it right then and there, then they're going to be like, oh, my God, them GMS brothers was right. But it's going to be too late. A lot of them won't have the faith built up to protect themselves against this thing. What do you think we're doing now? Okay, we're out there teaching our people, right, in hopes of gathering the ears of the elect, training them in the ways of faith. Why? Because that day is approaching, man. Why else do you think we constantly keep talking about the MOTB, and don't take it. Keep your faith in Yahweh Shem Yahushai. Matter of fact, let me go to Ezekiel. Ezekiel, the 33rd chapter, right? The watchman's duty. Ezekiel 33:1. Again, the word of the Lord came unto me, saying, Son of man, speak to the children of thy people, and say unto them, when I bring the sword upon a land, if the people of the land take a man of their coast, and set him for their watchman, if when he seeth the sword come upon the land, he blow the trumpet and warn the people. See, our job is to warn the people. Okay? Ultimately, right now, is to warn what? The elect. Okay? Really, it's to warn all, but we know that the elect are going to be the ones that's going to benefit from it because everybody else is going to be destroyed, especially here in America. Okay? Russia, okay, which we're talking about Russia, and then some other of the key players are going to shoot nuclear missiles here on America. It's going to happen. Okay? All right, so it says, if when he seeth the sword come upon the land, he blow the trumpet and warn the people. Then whosoever heareth the sound of the trumpet and take him not warning, if the sword come and take him away, his blood should be upon his own head. And that's going to be the one that's not the elect. He take him not warning. All right, so really, the warning is for everybody, but the ones that's going to benefit are the elect. All right, so verse 5, he heard the sound of the trumpet and took not warning. His blood should be upon him, but he that taketh warning shall deliver his soul. Remember that links up to James, the 1st chapter, the engrafted word that's able to save your soul. Okay? The engrafted word is also a word that has warning, has prophecy in it. Okay? And by hearkening is able to what? Deliver your soul. Right? Verse 6, but if the watchman see the sword come and blow not the trumpet, and the people be not warned, if the sword come and take any person from among them, he is taken away in his iniquity, but his blood will I require at the watchman's hand. Okay, because our job is to what? Blow the trumpet. You have some people that have this knowledge or have a little bit of the knowledge, and they choose to sit on it and not warn the people. Well, guess what? Those people's blood is going to be upon your hand because you didn't take this knowledge, okay, and actually go warn them. And you have knowledge of the warning. All right. Verse 7. So thou, O son of man, I have set thee a watchman unto the house of Yasher Allah, not to any of the other nations. It says, a watchman unto the house of Yasher Allah. Therefore, thou shalt hear the word at my mouth and warn them from me. And that's what we do. We warn them from what? From him. Because he's the one that's bringing in this. He's the one that's bringing the prophecies. So we warn the people of the prophecies and we warn them of him. All right. If you take this MOTB, you will be destroyed from him. How about that? So it's from him as well, because he's the one bringing the prophecies. All right. So our job is to warn you about the MOTB and say, hey, do not take this or you will be destroyed. Right. Let's go to Revelation 14. Right. Revelation 14 and verse 9, and the third angel followed them, saying with a loud voice, if any man worship the beast in his image and receive his mark in his forehead or in his hand, because that goes to a different thing other than the image. It says, and receive his mark in his forehead or in his image. And that's the same mark you got to have to buy and sell. All right. Because people keep skipping over the buying and selling aspect. Okay. You're actually buying and selling actual goods. You're trading. So you got to have this mark to actually buy and sell. It can't talk about sin. People, that's crazy. What type of sin do you have to do to buy and sell? How will people track that? How can you track that? Okay. It says, receive his mark in his forehead or in his hand. Verse 10, the same shall drink of the wine of the wrath of the Most High, which is poured out without mixture into the cup of his indignation, fierce anger. And he shall be tormented with fire and brimstone in the presence of the holy angels, in the presence of the Lamb. All right. It's not talking about fire and brimstone in a place where you burn forever. All right. Because wait a minute. So what you're saying is, if this was talking about a hell, what you're saying is the person will have to receive the mark, and then whatever time they die, that's when they go and go to hell in that fire and brimstone. Whatever time they die later on, that's when that judgment is for. But wait a minute. According to the anti-Christians, there's already a place called hell. You don't need to take the mark to go to hell. According to the anti-Christians, the anti-Messiahs, okay, I'll say it like that, anti-Messiah, people that are against the Messiah, according to the anti-Christians, you can already go to hell right now. So it doesn't matter if you take this, you can still possibly go to hell without taking this. That's crazy. No, this fire and brimstone links up with the nuclear missiles. Okay. Let me see. Where's that? Psalms. Where's that? Psalms, the 11th chapter. Bear with me. This is Psalms 11 and verse 4. Said the Lord Yahweh is in his holy temple. The Lord's throne is in heaven. His eyes behold, his eyelids try the children of men. The Lord Yahweh tried the righteous, but the wicked and him that loveth violence, his soul hateth. Showing you that the Heavenly Father hates. All right. It says, but the wicked and him that loveth violence, his soul hateth. The wicked are what? Sinners. All right. It says, also the wicked as in Esau as well. This is verse 6. It says, upon the wicked he shall rain snares, fire and brimstone, and in horrible tempests this shall be the portion of their cup. You see that? It says, upon the wicked he shall rain snares, fire, and brimstone. You see that? Fire and brimstone always came from above. All right. Going back all the way to Sodom and Gomorrah and the other 3 cities. Okay. All right. Sodom and Gomorrah and the other 3 cities was a total of 5 cities. Right. Fire and brimstone was opened up and came from the heavens. Likewise, right, when the sword will be bathed in heaven and it comes down, guess what? That's going to be that fire and brimstone again, because once those nuclear missiles detonate, there you go. There you go. There you have it. Okay. Complete destruction. Okay. Eyes shall melt in their holes or burn away in their holes. Tongues shall consume in their mouth. Okay. The elements shall melt with fervent heat. That is that fire and brimstone coming down from the heavens, because these countries will possess the ICBM nuclear missile, and that's the intercontinental ballistic missile, the missile that's able to go up so high and then come down on its target, go up and leave the atmosphere, okay, quote unquote, touch space, and then come back down upon its target, okay? So remember that fire and brimstone always was rained down, going all the way back to Sodom and Gomorrah. All right. It says, upon the wicked he shall rain snares, fire and brimstone, and in horrible tempest. This shall be the portion of their cup. All right. So if you take up that mark, you will be destroyed by what? Nuclear missiles. That's what we are to warn you about. Okay. You have to take the scriptures and put it in today's time. It's not talking about sin. If sin was itself the MOTB, and the judgment of the MOTB is to be destroyed by fire, how's that going to happen? Because that goes all the way back to Adam and Eve. The scripture says all have sinned. So you're saying all have taken the MOTB? And then why you keep skipping the B part of the MOTB? Because it's the MOTB, mark of the beast. What is the beast? Don't skip over that part. And what is the beast? And break down where you get the beast from. Is there another book, namely wink, wink, in the Old Testament that helps you break down the beast? Go into that. They just go immediately into, it's the beast, the white man is in his sin. That's ridiculous. Okay? Show me, break down the beast according to the scripture, right? So let me go back to the topic at hand, because I was going kind of off, into another topic, but it's okay. Try to basically bring a correlation, basically a relation between taking what's happening now and linking it up with the scriptures. Okay, so let's bring this, right? BRICS pay. Putin pushes for new international payment system. All right. What is it and how does it work? All right. So let me change the screen, make it bigger. Right. Salakia. Make it bigger. And let's go ahead. Putin's de-dollarization push with BRICS, and the other countries that are a part of BRICS are with it. Okay, they're tired. All right, let's keep going.
BRICS Pay, touted as an alternative to the US dollar, has the potential to revolutionize global finance by allowing BRICS nations to make cross-border payments more efficiently using their own currencies. But what exactly is BRICS Pay, and why is it so significant? Well, BRICS Pay is a proposed decentralized payment system developed by BRICS nations: Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa.
All right, now let's do something. Let me look up something right quick, okay? Let me look up something right quick, right? Now, I'm going to put in what is a centralized payment system. Let me see what it has. A decentralized payment system is a network of peers that verifies and records transactions without the use of intermediaries like banks or other financial institutions. Okay, what else is used as a decentralized payment system? Things like cryptocurrency. Okay, so this is basically like a form of cryptocurrency. Okay, that's basically what they have set up. All right, being able to interchange their currency and use it in another country, use it across the border, and for that country to use in turn their particular money across the border, all by one decentralized payment system. Okay. Instead, these systems use blockchain technology to allow users to send and receive money quickly and easily. It's just like with Bitcoin. If you're into Bitcoin, or if you ever looked at it, how you can exchange your money for Bitcoin and then in turn use Bitcoin to buy damn near every other currency, because Bitcoin is the top. They got Ethereum and different other cryptocurrencies, but you can put your money in Bitcoin and then buy the other different currencies. You see? So that decentralized payment system, they're putting their money and exchanging it for that and then able to change it for something else. All right? Just putting it in layman's terms. So now let me go back to the video.
Recently expanded to include Egypt, Ethiopia, Iran, and the UAE.
Look at that. Egypt, Ethiopia, Iran, and the UAE, United Arab Emirates. The bunch of little areas over there that make up the United Arab Emirates, okay? I think Dubai is a part of that, if I'm not mistaken. A part of the United Arab Emirates and so on and so forth. But let me see. They said Iran, they said Egypt. All right. That goes into the part of the title that I have. All right. It said what? The key players to look at concerning BRICS. Okay. When you go to let's go back to Ezekiel 38. It says, and the word of the Lord came unto me, saying, Son of man, set thy face against Gog, the land of Magog, the chief prince of Meshach and Tubal, and prophesy against him. And we know that the land of Magog, as I was saying, as we've been taught and what we believe, the land of Magog is Russia. Okay. All right. It says the chief prince of Meshach and Tubal, and say, thus saith the Lord power, behold, I am against thee, O Gog, the chief prince of Meshach and Tubal. And I will turn thee back and put hooks into thy jaws, and I will bring thee forth in all thine army, horses and horsemen, all of them clothed with all sorts of armor, even a great company with bucklers and shields, all of them handling swords. All right, these particular powers will be used to fight against Babylon, also Israel, the land of Israel. Okay, today. Now it says, verse 5, Persia, which is Iran. Okay, you can even look that up. The old name for Iran was Persia. Everybody knows that. Okay, Persia, Ethiopia, that's the land of Cush in the scriptures. Ethiopia, which guess what? Ethiopia has joined BRICS. Okay, Libya, all right, with them. When you go into Libya, Libya was northern Africa, right? You see. Let me see. Let me see if I thought I had my picture up. All right. Because when I type in, I'll show you what I did, right? I typed in ancient Libya on map, right? Then you see this old map, which that's not the map of Africa. That's just a map that they had during the time of around the 400s BC. So of course, maps over the years have changed to what it is to now. They can only know but so much back then. All right. Now, so that's what I did there. And I clicked on that. Share this tab here. So even on the Wikipedia page, they have right here, they have Libya being a huge part of Northern Africa. See that? Northern Africa, right? It spanned way over here. You have Egypt over here in this area, right? You have the land of Kush going down, the eastern part. All right, so Libya was Northern Africa. There's a lot of Libyan tribes all throughout Northern Africa. All right. You can always go, like I said, in Wikipedia, right? And it's almost as if like they only had the top portion of Africa, like they didn't have a whole bunch more. But like I said, if this map was from around like 485 BC, they would only have but so much as they go on. All right. Although we know that people have traveled those lands when they came to the New World. Even the 12 tribes, they've traveled all the way down past the Euphrates. They went around Africa and they went all the way till they got to the Western Hemisphere. So they knew about lands. All right. So let me get this right here. This is, you see that? It said the Libyans by Herodotus. And these are different tribes of the Libyans. And you can see it spans all the way by Egypt, all the way over here. Northern Africa. Okay? Northern Africa. So you got to look out for Libya, not just the one portion of Libya in modern Libya today. You got to look out for a lot of the Northern African countries, joining up with BRICS. Because remember, BRICS is accepting a lot of applications. Even Turkey, okay, has put in an application to join BRICS. Okay? All right. So let me go back. Let me go back to the video.
It aims to enable
Let me
cross-border transactions.
Not yet. Let me go back to Ezekiel 38:5. Persia, Ethiopia, and Libya with them, just to stamp on the point, right? Libya with them, all of them with shield and helmet, right? So now let me go back to the video.
Transactions in local currencies without depending on the US dollar or traditional Western-led payment system like the SWIFT. Geopolitical tensions, particularly Western sanctions on countries like Russia, have accelerated the push for a new payment system. After the invasion of Ukraine in 2022, Russia was cut off from international capital markets and had its dollar and euro reserves frozen. This financial isolation led Russia to call for an...
See that? Financial isolation. So they're like, look, man, we got to have another payment system because they're able to lock down and freeze our assets. So we got to have we got to have another payment system. And guess what? All the other countries that's linked up with them are on board. They're tired of that control of the US dollar.
Alternative to the current global financial system, dominated by institutions like the IMF and the World Bank, which they argue favor Western interests. The BRICS pay system leverages the payment infrastructure already in place within BRICS nations. For example, Russia's MEAD network and India's UPI. BRICS Pay will use blockchain technology to validate transactions, ensuring security and transparency. It is designed to be faster, cheaper, and free from external interference. One of the key features of BRICS Pay is its ability to facilitate transactions in local currencies, including the Russian ruble and Indian rupee. This means that businesses and individuals in BRICS nations can make cross-border payments without needing to convert their currencies into US dollars. The new system brings numerous benefits. It eliminates the risks associated with the traditional banking system, such as credit risks and delays caused by reliance on Western-dominated platforms like the SWIFT. By using decentralized ledger technology, it also enhances the security and efficiency of transactions. BRICS now represents 45% of the global population and 37% of the world economy. With the expansion of BRICS and the development of BRICS Pay, these nations are pushing for a multipolar world order, challenging the dominance of the dollar in global trade. Often seen as a geopolitical rival to the G7 bloc of advanced economies, BRICS aims to create a financial system that works for emerging markets, offering alternatives to Western-led institutions like the IMF and the World Bank. As the world increasingly moves towards digitization, systems like BRICS Pay could become more critical in shaping the future of global payments.
The world moving toward digitization, okay? As you said, digitization, okay? Everything's getting digital, essentially, okay? The world is moving. So that's taking the scriptures and putting them into real time. When you go to Revelation, the 13th chapter, it says you won't be able to buy or sell save you have the mark. This is buying or selling deals with a form of currency, not sin. Currency. This man is carnal. Okay? This man is carnal. He goes around the world. He's trying to acquire everything. He keep it not at home. He took all the world's wealth. This man is carnal, man. Okay? You can lie and say that you're a sinner or whatever the case may be. That's not going to give you food. He wants you to verify. Isn't Esau big on that word? Verify and confirm. Have things validated. He wants to verify that you are one of his. Show me that you serve me. Show me by that mark. The same way with the COVID. We say the DVOC, 19 jab that came out. Like, you got to have this card to work at my job. You got to have this card to come into my restaurant. Show me. Don't just tell me. You can't go to them places and say, yeah, I have it. I took it. Am I good to come in? They were like, show me. Where's the proof? It's the same thing with the MOTB. They're going to be like, show me. Then you'll be able to what? Pay. You can come up with some form of currency, old dollars that's obsolete at that point. They're going to be like, you can't buy with that because we're not accepting that. You have to use this, or you cannot acquire this from us. Point blank period. It says buy or sell, save, except he have the mark. And then we got to get that scripture since we talked about it. All right. Everything's going digital. Like you said, the world is moving towards digitization. So Revelation 13 and verse 16, and he calls of all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, that's everyone, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their forehead. So he's going to cause everyone to receive this mark. The only ones that's not going to receive it are going to be the elect. Seeing it says, and that no man might buy or sell, save he that had the mark or the name of the beast or the number of his name. You're going to have that system up in you. Point blank period. Okay? That barcode system that you're going to have, okay, up in you, that they're going to put in your right hand or in your forehead, or matter of fact, they can put it in your left hand. You think they'll deny that? They'll put it in your hands, period, or in your forehead. Okay? And you won't be able to buy or sell except you have that mark. And within the barcodes, you have what the numerical value of 666. 666. And here it is, verse 18. Here's wisdom. Let him that have understanding count the number of the beast, for it is the number of a man, and his number is 666. You notice Esau has 666 everywhere. That is his number. Okay? The Lord had programmed that to be his number. And that number is on everything. Like I showed you before, a long time ago. Look at this. Let me see. All right. Look at this. Like this, even though this is an apocrypha, it has a barcode. And on that barcode, you have the long lines on both ends. You have the same long, skinny lines in the middle. That what represents 666. It's a barcode. And you can look that up. And that's on every barcode. You know, here it is. I have the Holy Scriptures, and I have the Esau's damn barcode on the Holy Scriptures, man. You know, good thing is about the words that are in the book and not about just the hard covering book themselves. All right. Let me go to all right. So at the end of the day, you're going to have that mark, the new form of currency to buy or sell. All right. So let me play this video.
Boost the efforts of de-dollarization by fostering financial cooperation between member states and reducing dependency on the US dollar. BRICS Pay could pave the way for a more decentralized and equitable financial system. For more news and updates, keep watching Live Mint.
Now I'll close that out because now I'm going to bring. Remember we talked about Libya, right? It says BRICS expansion. What does it mean for Africa's future? All right. Let me see. It says Egypt and Ethiopia, which are also so-called African countries, okay, have for the first time participated in a BRICS summit following an expansion to its membership. And this article came out 4 hours ago. It's probably a little bit longer than that now because I had it up. But right here, you can see it came out today. All right. It says the alliance that initially referred to Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa is gradually becoming a bigger body after also welcoming Iran, Saudi Arabia, and the United Arab Emirates into its fold. Okay. It says Russian President Vladimir Putin at the BRICS closing session in the southwestern Russia city of Kazan said all countries joining the bloc share similar aspirations and values and a vision of new democratic global order. They're tired of the Western way. The 3-day summit, which ended on Thursday, also provided a platform for member countries to discuss plans to deepen financial cooperation and develop alternatives to Western-dominated payment systems. See, they got to come up with a whole new payment system, which they did. That says Africa's position amid BRICS expansion. Expanding the BRICS group was something many experts said would help African countries reposition themselves in the globe. I actually see a lot, okay, right here, a lot of African countries joining because Africa wants a new world power that will crush the existing global power, and some would join for various reasons, including improving their economies and trade. Dr. Michael Demancho, okay, if I'm saying that right, Demancho, a political analyst at the University of Douala in Cameroon, told DW. A.L. Kittish Lubanda, a Congolese affairs analyst, told DW that other natural resource-rich nations like the Democratic Republic of Congo must join BRICS to avail of its many benefits. So it's going to be beneficial. They're pushing that it's going to be beneficial for Africa to join BRICS. Being part of a much larger whole is a viable ambition, Lubanda said. You know, today, strategic materials, I'm talking about cobalt, coltan, zinc, and all other mining materials, all other mining materials that make China powerful today come from the Democratic Republic of Congo. That's the DRC. Okay, look at that. The Lord just happened to make the land of Africa resource rich in a lot of materials. You see, it says, shit, man, the whole world used to be rich in materials, depending on where you go. All right, like remember King Solomon in the Navy with Hiram's Navy, they went over to the Western Hemisphere and they gathered all types of goods, different types of animals, and brought them back over there. You see, it's all the reason why Puerto Rico is called what? Rich Port. Port Rich. Okay, Puerto Rico. All right, these different lands had a whole lots of resources. They had gold. Okay, jewels, rubies. The whole landmass at one time was called Idan. Okay? And once this world is destroyed, once the nuclear missiles hit, all right, and we come back down and rule this world, you're going to see a whole lot more this earth has to offer. Trust me on that. Okay? The kingdom of heaven is going to be played out not only in the universe and other planets, but also on the earth. So imagine how the earth is going to look. Okay? It says, Africa has for a long time had ties with Western countries by the emergence of China and Russia. Key members of the BRICS has somewhat diminished Western influence over the past few decades. Some analysts say South Africa's membership of BRICS has given many African countries hope that they could also be part of the new global force. And you have to watch out for many of the Northern African countries. We have Iran. When you go to, you see me go back. You see me, Slovakia. We have Persia, right? We have Iran. We have Ethiopia, and you're going to have more of the Eastern Africa place, because the land of Kush was more than just the land of Ethiopia. Okay, you have Somalia, Eritrea, you have those different Kenya. Okay. It says in Libya with them. See, those are the major parties. Gomer and all his bands in the house of Togarmah in the north quarters. These are the major parties in Ezekiel the 38th chapter. Okay. And guess what? They're all joining up and linking up with BRICS. You see, it's a direct opposite to the so-called West, America and the EU, America and NATO. Okay, you can see that it's gearing up. You have the countries gearing up, all right, to be against the West. All right. You see, now let me now since I'm here, matter of fact, let me go here. Let me go back up. Now it says, Son of man, set thy face against Gog, the land of Magog, the chief prince of what? Meshach and Tubal. Right? Now when you let me see. It says, and say, I'll just keep going. And say, thus saith the Lord power, behold, I am against thee, O Gog, the chief prince of Meshach and Tubal, and I will turn thee back and put hooks into thy jaws, and I will bring thee forth and all thine army, horses and horsemen, all of them clothed with all sorts of armor, even a great company with bucklers and shields, all of them handling swords. Now, when you go here, because I didn't want to jump the gun, the water Yahweh Shemel was shot for that. All right. When you go to the commentaries, all right. When you go to, I'll go to David Guzik for Ezekiel 38. And when you read this, it says, we just read the scripture, right? It says, set your face against Gog of the land of Magog. In this general context of Yahweh's restoration of Yasha'Allah, here Ezekiel prophesied against Gog, a ruler, and Magog, the place of Gog. Here Gog is noted as the prince of Rosh, Meshach, and Tubal. It says, identifying Gog in the battle described in this chapter has interested interpreters and students of Bible prophecy since ancient times. It is a difficult problem without an entirely clear solution for several reasons. There is no other Old Testament description of or connection with Gog apart from 1 Chronicles 5 and 4, which seems to have no relevance to this passage. Gog seems to be wholly new and strange enemy of Israel. Yeah, because just the same way Babylon is not ancient Babylon no more, man. Babylon, ancient Babylon is the land of Cush. Okay, well, I'll say this. The Babylonians were the Cushites. Okay? The Babylonians were the Cushites. The ancient Babylonians were the Cushites. The Neo-Babylonians were the what? In modern day Iraq today, or Iraq today. Okay? So it changes. So you got people that believe that Iraq, people say Iraq, it's Iraq. When you say Iraq, you got people that believe that prophecy in Iraq is going to be a third temple built up. They go off the goddamn chain when they think of prophecy. They think that something's going to come out of the modern day Iraq today. They believe that modern day Iraq is going to be destroyed. All right, just because it says Babylon in Revelation, the book of Revelation. You know, the 17th chapter, the 18th chapter. When you see daughter of Babylon, they think that's talking about modern day Iraq today. No, it changed locations, man. Okay, modern day Babylon is what America today. All right, so it says Magog is mentioned as a descendant of Japhet in Genesis 10 and 2, 1 Chronicles 1 and 5, but is never presented as a threat or enemy of Israel in any Old Testament passage. Right. Well, guess what? The place stayed the same. The people changed. So the name of the place stayed the same, but the people moved up in there. A new group of people moved up in there. Okay. All right. Hence the reason this. Magog was who? Descendant of Japhet. Okay. Japhet were also the Medes. So when you go to, let's open up another tab. Let's go to Isaiah 13. This is Isaiah 13. Look, prophecies about Babylon, right? Isaiah 13, and I'll go down. You see. Make a man more precious, yep. Here, I'll just right here. Babylon is just straight to the point. Babylon will fall to the Medes. Okay? Now, when you go into the history, all right, Darius the Mede took over, and then with Cyrus with him, okay? Because you had Darius the Mede and Cyrus. That's why you got the joint rulership. And Darius the Mede was older than Cyrus, okay? When you go into it, when you go to, I believe, Daniel, what is it, Daniel, the 9th chapter, they'll tell you that Darius the Mede was the son of Astyages. A lot of people get that confused. They think Darius was a fictional character. They'll say Darius was a person who never existed. Okay, they'll say Darius is Cyrus. They go on. People said Darius was Astyages because when you go to what is that? When you go to, I believe it's Bel and the Dragon, if I'm not mistaken, when you go to Bel and the Dragon, it starts off with Astyages or Astyages passing away. And then it says, and Cyrus received his kingdom. But then when it goes on, it talks about in the king, that's not talking about Cyrus. That's talking about Darius when you go to Bel and the Dragon, because that links up. He was the same king that talked with Daniel in the book of Daniel when he went to the lion's den. They mention the same thing when you go to Bel and the Dragon and when you go to the book of Daniel. What is that? Let me see. What is that? And now I want to get it. It's going to be one of them longer and longer lessons today, but that's okay. When you go to Bel and the Dragon, it says, and King Astyages or Astyages was gathered to his fathers, and Cyrus of Persia received his kingdom. And Daniel conversed with the king and was honored above all his friends. Now, when you look at this, you'll think that that king is talking about Cyrus of Persia. It's not. Cyrus of Persia received his kingdom. When there was joint rulerships, the kings didn't rule in the same locations. You got to look that up. And if you're studious, you got to look up the lands that Cyrus took over from Astyages. Okay. All right. You had the land of you had the prince city of Ecbatana or Ecbatana. Okay. And then you had Babylon. One king ruled in one area, another king ruled in another area. Okay. I'm not going to go too deep in it. I went into it in another lesson prior. It's a lot of vast history with that. But normally, when there were two kings, you didn't have two kings ruling in the same area. They ruled in different provinces. Like, for example, you had Esarhaddon had Ashurbanipal or Ashurbanipal. He also had another son. Now, Ashurbanipal, okay, he or Ashurbanipal, as some people say, he ruled in what? Nineveh, if I'm not mistaken. Okay, but his brother, Esarhaddon's other son, ruled in Babylon. Okay, but Ashurbanipal was what? Ruling in Assyria, king of the Assyrians. Okay, when you had people that was joint rule for a while, okay, they didn't rule in the same place. So when you go here, when it says, and Daniel conversed with the king, this same king was the one that was sick when they threw Daniel into the lions den. When you keep reading it, he was sick. Now this lines exactly up with, let me go to Salakia. We see this, that remember the Bell and the Dragon lines up exactly with Daniel. Look, Daniel serves Darius. Daniel 6, the 6th chapter. Look at that. When you go to Daniel, the 6th chapter, this was the Darius. That what he says, and it pleased Darius to set over the kingdom 120 provinces, Salakia, 120 princes, which should be over the whole kingdom. Okay, this particular Darius was the same one that was sick when Daniel got casted into the lions den, because he liked Daniel. And this story right here was written of in Bell and the Dragon. So it's nowhere mentioned in here about Osiris. It says Darius the Mede. Okay, why? Because there was a joint rulership. Remember the arms and chest of silver. You had two arms. That's the Medes and the Persians. And we all know that the Persians were the greater of the two, but it was a medial. That's why they say Medo-Persian Empire. Okay, so you had Darius the Mede was not a fictional character. He was not Cyrus, as we just proved. He was not Cyrus. All right. Daniel wasn't thrown in the lion's den twice. It only happened once. All right. So just to show you that tidbit of information. All right. So let me go back to I have too many tabs. Salakia. All right. So let me go back to Isaiah 13 and 17. Behold, I will stir up the Medes against them, which shall not regard silver, and as for gold, they shall not delight in it. Okay. Now, how did the Babylonians fall? When you go back to this, Daniel 6, right? This starts off with Darius. Now let's go back to the previous chapter. Daniel, the 5th chapter. This says, Daniel 5 and 29, then commanded Belshazzar, and they clothed Daniel with scarlet and put a chain of gold about his neck and made a proclamation concerning him that he should be the third ruler in the kingdom. And that night was Belshazzar, the king of the Chaldees, slain, and Darius the Median took the kingdom, being about 62 years old. He was older than Cyrus. And if Darius was the son of Astyages, that means, and when you go into the history, Astyages was Darius's grandfather maternally. All right. So Darius the Mede would have to be Cyrus's uncle. Okay. Yeah, Darius the Mede would be Cyrus's uncle. He was older than Cyrus. Okay. He had a war with Darius the Mede's father, Astyages. Okay. But he didn't have beef with his son, Darius the Median. Okay. And when you go to the next chapter, Daniel the 6th chapter, we see that that's Darius the Mede. Okay. Darius the Mede. All right. So let me go to That's how the Babylonians were taken down. After the last king of the Babylonians was taken down, it says Darius the Mede took the kingdom. So now it says Babylon will fall to the Medes. So this can't be talking about, what I'm about to read, can't be talking about ancient Babylon. Okay, it said, behold, I will stir up the Medes against them, which shall not regard silver, and as for gold, they shall not delight in it. Their bows also shall dash the young men to pieces, and they shall have no pity on the fruit of their womb or of the womb. Their eyes shall not spare children. It says, in Babylon, the glory of kingdoms, the beauty of the Chaldees' excellency, shall be as when the Most High overthrew Sodom and Gomorrah. You see that? Babylon is going to be the same way the Most High overthrew Sodom and Gomorrah and them other three cities. And how was that? It was from the fire and brimstone, as we talked about earlier, raining down from heaven. Did it not? In Sodom and Gomorrah, were not the heavens open and fire and brimstone rained from the heavens and completely destroyed them? So Babylon is going to be the place that's going to fall the same exact way. Okay? So we know that can't be talking about the ancient Babylon because they wasn't destroyed by fire and brimstone. This has to be talking about what? Future Babylon, which is America. Showing you that, all right, it's called Babylon, but the players changed. Okay? Even the location changed. The Medes, okay, it's called the Medes, but the players changed. The Russians are there. Okay? So let's go back to I want to go back to Salaki. I want to go back to the David Guzik part. All right, bear with me. I'll pull that up. All right. Let me reshare the screen. All right, bear with me. All right. Now, when you go to the this part, it says Magog is mentioned as a descendant of Japhet. All right. But doesn't mean it's the Japhetic people this time around, as we stressed. But it is never presented as a threat or enemy of Israel in any Old Testament passage. The phrase Prince of Rosh has also been translated as Chief Prince, with the idea that the word Rosh describes the greatness of the prince, not a place where the prince rules, Rosh. Translators and interpreters do not agree if it should be Prince of Rosh or Chief Prince. If Rosh is understood as a name of a people or place, it has no other connection or reference to the Old Testament. There are many who think that Rosh speaks of Russia or the Russians, but the only direct evidence of this is the similar sound of the names. It says, Meshach and Tubal were peoples to the north of Israel, somewhere near the Black Sea and the Caspian Sea. These were peoples nowhere else noted in the Old Testament for any threat or animosity against Israel. Yeah, but guess what? It's for future prophecy. That's the kicker. It's a threat for the land of Israel for future prophecy. Okay? All right. Now it says, though the names Meshach and Tubal have a similar sound to the Russian cities of Moscow and Tobolsk, similar sounding names alone are not enough to make a certain connection with Russia in her cities. Okay. All right. So let me see. Let me scroll down because it also says Feinberg on Rosh. Byzantine and Arabic writers mentioned a people called Rus inhabiting the country of Taurus and reckoned among the Scythians. There have been many writers who connected the name Rosh with the Russians, but this is not generally accepted today. All right. It says, it's tempting to identify Rosh and Russia with Russia, and therefore Meshach with Moscow and Tubal with Tobolsk, both cities in Russia. But we would have a hard time defending this on linguistic grounds. This doesn't rule out the participation of modern Russia, since it is located in the north. All right, but neither does it demand it, okay? but it's awfully damn close when you look at it. Meshach and Tubal looks like the Moscow and Tobolsk, and it probably is in a spirit. All right, but now let's look up because it said Meshach and Tubal, right? That's what I wanted to get rid of. Some of these links. All right. Now it said Meshach and Tubal. We're going to have a further look into Meshach and Tubal. Now let's get out of here. And we're going to go to, it says, O God, the chief prince of Meshach and Tubal. We're going to go to Meshach. Okay. Now the Hebrew is a Ma, a Shah, and a Ka. Mashak. Mashak. It says drawing out, son of Japhet. And the name actually it might go back to Japhet. It does. A lot of these go back to Japhet. But like I said, the names of it stayed the same with this prophecy, but the players changed. Same thing with America. The name Babylon stayed the same, but the players changed. It says, son of Japhet, grandson of Noah, and progenitor of peoples to the north of Israel. It says, descendants of Meshach, often mentioned in connection with Tubal, Magog, and other northern nations, including the Maski, a people on the borders of Caucasus and Armenia. Okay? All right. Now, they talk about Meshach is often included with the nations, the Maski. Maski also kind of looks like a variation of Meshach, if you will, if you look at it. Okay? Now, let's go from here, because it says what? In other northern nations, including the Maski, a people on the borders of Caucasus and Armenia. So let's go to Caucasus. Okay? In classical antiquity and Greco-Roman geography, Caucasus, ancient Greek, was an exonym for the Georgian polity of Ingrisi, located on the eastern coast of the Black Sea, centered in present-day western Georgia. See? Put another tab. It says Caucasus, ancient region at the eastern end of the Black Sea, south of the Caucasus, is the western part of modern Georgia. Now check this out, y'all. Was Georgia a part of the Soviet Union, which we know as Russia? Look, cats always used to say Georgia, Russia, right? Yes, Georgia was part of the Soviet Union from 1936 to 1991. Georgia was one of the 15 republics that made up the Soviet Union, also known as the Union of Soviet Socialist Republics, USSR. Okay? Russia was a part of, I'm going to say Ukraine and everything. God damn. Well, Ukraine was a part of Russia too. Shit. But Georgia was a part of Russia. Okay? And it's saying these people, the Maski, are a part of what? On the borders of Caucasus and Armenia. All right? So you have a connection there. We see. Keep going. Let me just get this. It says Caucasus, ancient Greek name of the region at the eastern end of the Black Sea and south of the Caucasus Mountains, corresponding to the Georgian provinces of Imertia, Mingrelia, Agoria, Acaria, and the Pontic regions of northeastern Turkey. So it's within that region, because you had Japhetic tribes that were all throughout these places, but they got pushed out. You know, the real Romans are the Japhites, but they got pushed out. Okay? Again, name stayed the same, but the players changed. All right? That's what these demons do. Talking about these Edomites. All right, now it says Caucasus first came within the Iranian orbit in the Median period, 850 through 550 BCE. beginning in the 8th century BCE, it suffered heavily in successive Cimmerian and Scythian invasions. Okay. All right. But just showing you, I just wanted to show you this land Caucasus is what in western Georgia, which Georgia was a part of Russia. It shows you that the Medes were up in that area. Okay, but who took over that area now? Esau. Okay, but it shows you that Russia was a part of it's a part of the scriptures. All right, Russia is a part of the scriptures. Okay, you have Gog. Okay, you have Magog, and within that you have the Mosque people. It said chief prince of Meshach and Tubal. You have the Mosque people that are in Georgia, which was a part of that area. Okay, so you have that right there. That was Meshach drawing out. All right, now let me see something. All right. When you look at this map right here, you see that Meshach, right, is to the left of the Caspian Sea, right? When you look at this map here, look, you see that Russia, this whole thing colored right here, and look right there, Russia even leads right there to the left of the Caspian Sea. Look at that, the same exact place, right? Japhet was in Russia at one point. Straight up, man. Let me see something. Let me see something else too. Well, I'll just look that up personally. I'm going to look up Kazakhstan differently. All right. Now I'm going to look up this. Now I'm going to give brothers this. Bear with me. This is from the Oxford Bible Church. Okay. Appendix 5. Where is Rosh? The name Rosh, because of translators. All right. Let me blow it up for you so you can see it. The name Rosh, because of the translator's preference, does not appear in the KJV, but does appear in numerous other versions, including the ASV, which reads, "Son of man, set your face toward Gog and the land of Magog, the prince of Rosh, Meshach, and Tubal, and prophesy against them." All right, Ezekiel 38:2. It says, William Kelly said that while the name Rosh can be taken as a title meaning head or chief, such a rendering here introduces unnecessary confusion. He insisted that in Ezekiel 38 and 39, Rosh must be taken as a proper name, the name of a race. This rendering is strengthened by the names Meshach and Tubal, which precede and follow the word Rosh. Since these are names, then Rosh must be taken as a name rather than a title, which gradually became Rash, then Rus, and today is known as Russia. Okay? It says some claim we only identify Rosh and Russia because the two words sound alike, but the view that Rosh in Ezekiel 38 and 39 is Russia is not based on this fact. All right, now check this out. It says there are two substantial reasons for identifying ancient Rosh with Russia. One, Wilhelm Gesenius, considered by Hebrew scholars as one of the greatest scholars of the Hebrew language. So he might be the one behind the Gesenius Chaldee Hebrew lexicon. I'm gonna have to look him up. It seems like it because you see the name Gesenius. And you see Gesenius when you look in the blue letter, right? The lexicon. It says, considered by Hebrew scholars as one of the greatest scholars of the Hebrew language. Unquestionably, believed that Rosh in Ezekiel was a proper noun identifying Russia. In his ancient Hebrew lexicon, well, there you go. He said that Rosh was a designation for the tribes then north of the Taurus Mountains, dwelling in the neighborhood of the Volga. Also, that Rosh in Ezekiel 38 and 39 is a northern nation mentioned with Meshach and Tubal, undoubtedly the Russians, who are mentioned by the Byzantine writers of the 10th century under the name the Ras, dwelling to the north of Taurus as dwelling on the river Ra, which is Volga. Okay, Volga, above you have Volga with a V, and often you have that interchanged with a W. Okay, oftentimes. All right, it says this identification by Jusinius cannot be passed off lightly. He had no eschatological axe to grind. Yet, objectively, he says without hesitation that Ras in Ezekiel 38 and 39 is Russia. He concluded that in this name and tribe, we have the first historical trace of the Rus or Russian nation in his original Latin version of the lexicon titled Thesaurus Linguae. Okay? Hebrae et Chaldee Veteris Testamente. Jusinius has nearly 1 page of notes dealing with the word Rosh and the Rosh people mentioned in Ezekiel 38 and 39. This page does not appear in any English translation. It says, those who disagree with him have failed to refute his sizable body of convincing evidence identifying Rush or Rosh with Russia. See that? It says, there is considerable historical evidence that a place known as Rosh was very familiar in the ancient world. While the word has a variety of forms and spellings, it is clear that the same people are in view. So it talked about a Rosh people in that area. Okay? But here's the thing. Fast forward, like I said, names stayed the same, the people changed. Japhet was once called the Romans as well. Okay? The real Romans. But guess what? They got moved out. Who got put in their place and start calling themselves the Romans? Same names, different places. Russia. Same name in a sense, right? Because Russia goes back to Ras. This is what I believe too. Same name. Guess what? Different players. Medes. They kept the Medes there. We know the Medes are the Japhites. Okay? But guess what? The Medes destroying the Babylonians, guess what? It didn't happen in the fashion of Sodom and Gomorrah. How is America going to be destroyed? By fire and brimstone nuclear missiles? Guess what? That's going to be the major players or who? Gog of Magog, in the land of Magog. Persia, which is Iran, Libya, Ethiopia. Guess what? They're going to be used to shoot the missiles on Babylon. Okay? All right? Again, same name, different players. You notice that pattern. Okay? If you keep going, there's many people that believe that Ras and Rus goes to Russia. It says an ancient group of people known as the Samaritans were known as the Ras. Rashu and Rus were inhabited the land of Rasapu. These people inhabited the area that today we know as southern Russia. Okay? So at the end of the day, our apostles and elders, big brothers taught us this. We know that the major players that's going to go up against Babylon are the Russians. We know that they're major players outside of Iran, okay, Libya, Ethiopia, so on and so forth. Okay, we know this. Guess what? You have additional information to further back it up in the spirit if you can receive it. Russia is in the scriptures. Point blank, period. Russia is in the scriptures, right? It's been another lesson. Ezekiel 38. Further belief that Russia is in the Bible and key players to look at concerning BRICS. All right. With that, call Haloyim, Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai, Ba'ashem Chakwadash. Double honors to the apostles, bishops, and elders, a great millstone, peace and shalom to the elect. This was a tedious lesson. There's a lot of information. Hope Akim and Akwaf out there have been edified. As always, I say, double shalom.